Hi, I'm Dorothea Jensen, and I'm back again to talk a little bit about my new book, which is coming out in April of 2016, and it is called A Bus from Lafayette. Now, in case you don't know what bus means, bus is an old-fashioned word for a playful, smacking kiss. And one of these kind of things. Anyway, this book is coming out in April of 2016. It's being released by BQB Publishing. And I want to tell you how I got the idea to write the story in the first place. A number of years ago, I was on a Jane Austen tour, going around visiting sites where Jane Austen lived and or set her books. And we had to do a lot of riding on a bus because these places were quite widely scattered around the UK. So while we were writing, we entertained each other by telling stories. And as I said in my last blog, I told the story about how my 8th grade teacher had met Geronimo as a little girl and that she had shaken hands with him and that I shook hands with her so that I had shaken the hand of someone who shook the hand of Geronimo. Well, at that point, a voice from the front of the bus said, "Well, I've been kissed by someone who was kissed by someone who was kissed by Lafayette." Well, I immediately jumped out of my seat and I ran up the aisle to the front of the bus. And the woman who had spoken was an older woman. At the time, I thought of her as an old woman, but now I realize she was probably just a few years older than I am now. She was quite tall and dignified, and her name was Rita. And I said, "Rita, right here." And she kissed me on the cheek. She bussed me on the cheek. Well, after I got home, I wrote to Rita to find out details of how she had been kissed by someone who had been kissed by someone, etc., etc. And it turned out that her great-grandmother had been a little girl in 1824, and when Lafayette came through her town in Massachusetts, she had been picked to present him with a bouquet of flowers, and he had then kissed her on the cheek. And Rita's great-grandmother then kissed Rita's mother as a baby, and of course, then Rita's mother kissed Rita, who kissed me. So that was the connection. Now, it turns out that half of the people in the United States had the opportunity to see or to meet Lafayette during that tour of 1824-25 because he went to all 24 states. And if that is the case, then there are many, many, many other people out there who have also been kissed by someone who was kissed by someone who was kissed by someone who was kissed by Lafayette. They just don't know it. But I'm here to say, welcome to the club. More tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye.